It was funny. I'm recording now. I just told Crystal, I'm like, I feel like we're in the 1800s. I yelled downstairs, I'm like, let me know when the whiskey's left on the doorstep. Because Christmas City Spirits, they're having delivery. They're also taking donations for hand sanitizer, but you can also get some delivered. So I figured I would. So they're going to deliver whiskey to my step, and I think that's unique.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
The only difference is we're on Zoom video instead of sitting by the fire.
Yeah, it is a little bit different. We're here with Ryan Hill. I forget your title. With ArtsQuest, director of film stuff.
The programming director.
That one.
Comedy czar.
The programming director, but it's always a bit misleading for people because of ArtsQuest being what ArtsQuest has been for years, what people associate as concerts and such. And I don't book music. We have a whole great team dedicated to that. So I mainly kind of focus, my two main focuses are cinema and comedy, the Frank Nicola House Cinemas and the comedy program we've built. And then I have, I'll do, produce dance, I've produced fashion shows, I produce a lot of random stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, these are all things that you can't do right now.
Yeah, well, yes and no, though, because my department has been kind of, put it this way, our programming is the best equipped to make its transition over to these Zoom meetings. And so right now with the ArtsQuest at Home program, which has its own website, you can find, I think it's artsquest.org/@home. Basically, we've been able to adapt, our improvised stand-up live comedy show to this, and it worked honestly probably better than it should have. We debuted that on a Saturday, and then we're back on. Tyler, you're on tonight. I don't know when this is going to air, but Tyler's.
I'll try to do this one quick. Maybe I'll get it up quick. But no, that was because you know what? We can talk about that because we were all in on it. I was a viewer trying to get people's attention.
Yeah,
you guys both. But it's fun. I was putting Jason Brown's head up here, and I was hoping he was going to get a reaction. Nothing. So I don't think I'm going to do that this time. But Tyler? How did you like it? What was the experience like? I don't know, both of you guys, because you both experienced it.
I liked it. I think the improvised stand-up is hard in a live setting. Because the pressure, it felt less pressure in this setting, for some reason. Because you couldn't hear laughs at all. There's nothing worse than doing comedy in front of a live audience and it not go well. So you kind of just had different expectations going in, I think, and it was fun. It was fun, and it was more I think I needed it more, or at least as much the interaction than the people.
It has been a little therapeutic. And Ryan, what behind the scenes, were you this is even right now, it's two people in here. I'm frantically looking at the buttons and everything. How is that with people you didn't know joining?
Yeah, so it's been a learning experience, but it's a learning experience that we're sharing across the country because I'm on calls almost every day with the Art House Convergence and via the with friends of mine at the Art House Convergence, which is basically this consortium of independent theater owners across the country. It's about 1,000 big. It's huge. And so ArtsQuest has been typically at the forefront in situations. Well, there's no situation quite like this, but we have a staff that can respond to dynamic situations like this, pretty quickly. And so we've been kind of helping with the Art House Convergence, but we've also been learning from them as to how to manage this sort of thing. There's a theater in Nashville that had a nightmare scenario on Monday night where somebody hacked their Zoom meeting and, shared screens. And of course there was porn and it was bad. So I'd already been a little bit familiar with Zoom because of that. But yeah, when I'm running these shows, essentially I have Addison Teal hosting them so that I can basically be the moderator that's making sure there's nobody putting up, stuff that's inappropriate or whatever. We had to kick somebody out of the show Tyler was on. They changed their name to something quite insensitive. So it's one of those things. It's tough because right now we're trying to see the best in humanity, right? We're trying to be we believe that we can, pull through. And then I'm also trying to keep dicks off the screen, So it's a little, it's an interesting time. So yeah, when I'm doing that, when I'm moderating those, basically there's all of my shows on Zoom have 3 people, a host, a moderator, and then an assistant to help me make sure I'm seeing if there's anything going on, or working with me to help share screens. Like, we're doing our best. We believe in high production values. So even with this, we're trying to make sure people are coming in, they see a logo, they have some music playing in the background. Like, we're in show business, and even though these Zoom meetings are typically used for people to talk about fourth quarter profits and things like that, we're doing our best to put on actual shows here.
No, it was fun, and you're always gonna. Unfortunately, I probably would have been one of those guys when I was like 18 or 7. I think when I was 25, I wouldn't have been crashing
now.
Zoom. Yeah, maybe
you were the one doing it now.
No, but you're always gonna have that. Zoom does at least make it easy to be like, you're out. So that's a good thing. But no, it was, and for people who are like, I don't know, check it out. It's not like you have to, like, when you join the meeting, your camera's off, you're just listening. So you're really just watching a television show with the option. Well, you don't even really have, you're not going to really interact unless for some reason somebody calls on you or something.
Yeah, exactly. People are allowed, we basically made it so that the chat function serves, it only comes to me. And people can send their suggestions to me. I bounce them over to our assistant, who's ready to kind of show them on the screen. And it works. And to be completely honest, Tyler knows this too. Like, when somebody yells, racist things at a show, you've got to get security. You get it's a whole process. They've disrupted. Here, I'm just like, all right, you're out, and there's no way you can come back in. And it's an option I wish I had in live shows. But also too, I don't want to harp on the negative of it too much, because honestly, we've now done, between the movie talks we've been producing and these shows, I've done about like 5 of them so far. This weekend's going to be heavy. We're doing improvised stand-up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 9:15. We've got an intro to improv class tonight at 7:30. We're doing a movie talk with Raiders of the Lost Ark tomorrow at 7:30. We've got John Lunger's doing a show at 7:30 on Saturday. It's like, suddenly I feel like, oh my God, I'm programming a comedy theater. Like the comedy theater that'll be going into the Banana Factory, knock on wood, in a few years. I'm suddenly programming this thing. And we were building this new digital venue, this virtual venue all of a sudden. And it's, 2 weeks ago today, I had, no idea that was going to be the case. So we've got an incredible team that's working to make this stuff happen, because we just believe strongly at ArtsQuest about, we're a nonprofit, we're part of the community. And, we are doing our best to give the community something in these times that makes there feel like there's some sense of normalcy, even though you're watching again from your bed or from whatever. So that's where we're at.
How have you personally been dealing with it? How have you, balancing producing these events and also your own, like, dealing with it yourself?
So to be honest, last week was tough. Last week was, as this situation was ramping up, and we were hearing from ArtsQuest senior management that they wanted something, because, the drumbeat starts quite quick, because of ArtsQuest's position in not just the marketplace, but in the country. We're getting asked, like, the moment something starts to hit, well, how are you guys going to respond to this? And so then the senior management, they want something. And so it's hard to not feel like, oh my God, I cannot handle this particular pressure right now. I need to be a human and freak the hell out. And yeah, last week was tough. And it got to a point on Friday where I was trying to, shop for my grandmother. She lives in Palmer Township. I wanted to make sure I could drop some food off for her, because, it's so weird. Like, I'm dropping food off for her at her front door. Then, we're waving through a window and she's picking it up so she doesn't, come in any contact, because she's, she's in her 80s, and, that's concern. So that was tough. That was a weird week. And this week I'm doing a little bit better with it. I'm very fortunate to have a great partner in my wife. I think one of the interesting things is that we're in this apartment. She is a therapist. So we have to, she's seeing clients in this other room, and I have to make sure I'm nowhere near that room. So I'm in my kitchen right now. Sometimes I'm in my living room for these. I'm also, she's great because I have this great touchstone of, like, I still am very lucky. I'm employed right now, knock on wood. There's been cost saving measures at ArtsQuest, as now we're trying to look at the idea of what Music Fest might look like if, knock on wood, we're able to do that still, and that's, again, all stuff in the future. Like, this week, this time next week will be different. So I'm doing okay, but there are definitely times where it's just like, this is a lot. I need to unplug all this. You've got two screens in front of you. You've got my screen for doing this sort of thing, my screen for emails. I'm in my kitchen. I'm right by all the damn food. So, it's like it's
easy. Definitely,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've been waiting. We talked about this, like, when are we going to be able to take a breath? And that might not be for a while. Yeah. But even I'm talking to my wife earlier. I'm like, hey, remember, put Dolly to bed because at 7 we want to go and watch this. It's helpful. Like, honestly, I'm looking forward to tonight. And I'm not just saying that because it's something for a couple minutes to not worry about all the news that's going on in New York City today and whatever. It's just a chance, even though that we're forgetting about it on purpose for a little bit. It's nice to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah, that was what was kind of tough when this came down. Like, my two ways of kind of coping with, one of the things I like to do to kind of just peace out for a bit is I love going into New York City for a day and just being kind of like anonymous in the city, going to see a couple movies, going to see a couple comedy shows. Maybe I'll meet up with a few people I know, but there's also days where I would just go in and not do that and just kind of, chill in the city. And, I'm like, man, when's the next time I'm going to be able to go to New York and not like feel weird or feel like concerned, And then the other thing is too, like, just going to I'm one of those weird indie movie theater operators, and that I actually kind of secretly love going to a multiplex in the middle of the day and seeing like something that I would I'm kind of interested in or whatever, and just chilling. And like, even that, like, we're starting to see some articles come out from China, which slowly reopening, and people aren't coming to movies, because they're just weirded out about the idea of being in a room with people they don't know and don't know where they came from or whatever. So the movie industry is going to take a hit for a bit, and normal is, there's no new normal. Who knows what that all looks like.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
So Tyler, oh no, you didn't cut me off. Tyler, maybe you could see if you could Skype with his girlfriend or his wife. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm trying to cheer him up. I'm doing whatever I can.
It's funny. I full disclosure, I do go to a therapist, and this is, I don't know if I even mentioned
There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody should. Everyone should go to a therapist. It's great.
I have an appointment next Thursday with mine.
But my therapist,
great, yeah.
My insurance didn't approve video yet, so I could go in person.
It sucks.
My wife is dealing with this big time, man, where it's just some weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Like, do you think they would be like, oh, so you're doing even less work? Okay,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
Well,
I'm on the 9:15.
I think there's only one, right?
Oh yeah, there's one. I'm on the 9. There's a 9:15.
Yeah, all the improvised stand-up shows are now. This week it's 9:15 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're kind of handling things on a week-by-week basis as to how many of these we do and what we're doing, because we're also getting some interesting show ideas, too, to see what we can possibly put up. I think John's show on Saturday is going to be a lot of fun. We're seeing if we can do some sort of PowerPoint karaoke sort of show, which is improvised stand-up, but with visuals, essentially. So there's a few things that'll start coming down the pike, and I hope next week I have another new show to maybe add into the mix.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm gonna watch. Tyler is gonna perform, and should be a fun time. So Ryan,
I'm just on just Thursday, right?
You're on Thursday tonight. Yeah, you're on tonight.
Not Friday or Saturday.
No.
I'll still be there though. In support.
He's like, well,
that's good. Case.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Hope you're holding up well. Well, okay.
All right. Jeez. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.